Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 23rd of August, comes to you from London. And the dollar climbing yesterday, but just falling back a bit today, but putting the prices back above the cloud, but not yet the lagging line. So we're still bearish, really, on all three time frames for the dollar. So it's still waiting for this long-term support level to break. So no clear signs of that. We see that just running through the price here at around 93.30. So just need to keep an eye on that breaking, and that would be very bad for the dollar. Euro is actually looking a little bit stronger. Fell away yesterday, but still holding above the cloud. So we're still bullish short term on the euro, although we do have these downside targets. This second one to 114 not yet activated. So euro looking stronger. And we look at the Japanese yen. We see the dollar has been falling away again this morning, but was up again yesterday. So again, mixed picture here. Against sterling, sterling is hitting new lows against the dollar, 128.10 this morning, just teetering along this bottom, and that's taking prices back below the cloud. On the daily chart, not yet on the lagging line. The level here is 127. If we fall through that 127 level, that would be bad for the sterling against the dollar. And against the euro, we are just lurching down now to very clear new lows, so lower than the level we saw last year. And we're seeing here that's taking us back to 7-year lows against the euro, so now very clear cut. Looking at the Swiss franc, we're fairly flat against the Swiss franc, and against the Australian dollar also a bit flat, but still bearish, and we have activated this downside target now of 156, so that's a further 4% downside. That's sterling weakness and Aussie dollar strength. Looking at the S&P 500 index, quite a sharp recovery here yesterday. We're still below the cloud on the short term, but it is looking a little bit better. And the Nasdaq just trying to get above the cloud, but not quite there yet. But again, quite a strong recovery yesterday. And the Dow much the same. Russell 2000 index has been the worrying one, making new lows up until yesterday, but again just a recovery here. So it was fairly broad-based, the move yesterday, but we are still medium-term bearish on the wider market in the US, which is a concern. Looking at the future, the S&P future is just up down slightly this morning, and the Nasdaq E-mini down slightly, so no real heads up as to which way the market will open today. FTSE's barely changed this morning, still below the cloud in the short term, and the FTSE 250 is actually just recovering above the cloud, so looking a bit better. The DAX is also looking a little bit better, now back above the cloud, but still bearish in the medium term, so quite worrying for the DAX. The Nikkei is falling to new lows yesterday, just on that stronger yen. Japanese corporate earnings struggling as a result, so we are just seeing that market down. And Hang Seng also just trying to get back above the cloud. The Shanghai market we are seeing is back above the cloud, although it's down a touch overnight, but looking better all the time. And the Indian market also just teetering off the bottom here, so some more work to do. Aussie market is fairly mixed, down slightly on this stronger Aussie dollar probably, but we're seeing here we're very much stuck in this 5.758 range. Crude oil, Brent crude is down this morning, so we're seeing that just coming back to test the support level on the short-term chart. And WTI also just coming back below the clouds, so it looks like this rise in crude oil is pretty short-lived. US natgas hanging on to the 290s, so looking bullish short-term, and that 315 target activated yesterday. Remember we talked about the need to activate that. That's now activated, 7% upside. Copper future is looking quite good. Copper is bullish on all three time frames, and we're seeing here on heating oil we are also looking a little bit better. Coffee is bearish below the cloud, and cocoa also bearish. Most of the softs bearish, cotton bearish. Sugar is actually just turning in bullish territory here on the short term, but still bearish in the medium and long term. And wheat is still bearish in all three time frames. Soybeans recovering a little bit, but again, pretty poor picture on the medium and long term. And corn is bearish on all three time frames. We talked a lot about gold in the last few weeks. It was just really just nudging those new highs earlier in the week. This 1300 level being a key level of resistance. This 1300 level is just hanging over. And we see on the weekly chart here, there's just this clear line of resistance at 1300. So we've got to break that. for the moment. We do have this downside target of 1258, but not activated unless we fall through 1280. So for the moment, 1280 is the support level. Although we have just wandered a little bit below the cloud, we've got to get back above this 1290 level to keep this short-term move in gold moving. And we see silver is much the same position, of course. Looking at US Treasury yields, we're sitting at 2.21%, just wandering through the cloud, maybe getting to bullish territory here. And Apple looking better after yesterday's move, still bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. Google is just recovering through the cloud as well, so that's now starting to look a little bit better. And Amazon not quite yet above the cloud, so bearish territory there still for the short term, but medium and long term charts still look great. Facebook had quite a strong showing yesterday, not quite back above the cloud, but this is looking very much like a consolidation before the next leg up, and we've got multiple upside targets to boot. Looking at Microsoft, we see here Microsoft is back above the cloud, got a strong day yesterday, so again bullish on all three time frames, looking better all the time. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.